friends. Welcome to or welcome back to our channel, Don't Quit Your Day Job. If you're here, that means you want to know what I read this month in my March reading wrap up. So let's get started. I read 6 books this month. That's pretty average for me. 6 to 8 books is about what you can expect from me on this channel. Most of them this month were romance. One of them was a mystery thriller, but the other 5 were romance. I was in a bit of a romance kick. So the first one that we're going to talk about is Into the Woods by Jenny Holiday. This one stars Gretchen and Teddy. Gretchen is a ballet dance company owner, like she owns a ballet studio. And Teddy is a just off a very public breakup rock musician. For their own reasons, they decide to go and spend the summer in upstate Minnesota at a wild arts camp teaching kids about their craft. So they have kids from all over the state that come in, and they may be in dance, they may be in painting, they may be in sculpting. There's a bunch of different people there besides Teddy and Gretchen who are like art in residence or something. And they come in and they teach the kids about their perspective art. So she was working with the dance kids, he's working with the music kids, and it's about their story as they fall in love in Minnesota in the summer. The thing that I absolutely loved about this book was the ages of the characters. She's 39. They never explicitly state his age, but I would guess him to be close to her age. She's turning 40 in the book, and it's great to see representation of older characters in a book. I absolutely loved their banter. It also was what I would call like a mid slow burn, not a full slow burn. It definitely gets spicy and is spicy, but it takes a long time for it to get there. There's no insta love, no insta lust in this book. So it's just a great book. I gave it 4.5 stars, almost 5 stars, but not quite 5 stars. And it's just a wonderful book about, now, if you're a seasonal reader, I'll tell you which season you should read all of these in. If you're a seasonal reader, this is very much like a summer reader. So it takes place at summer camp. So it's definitely for those who read seasonally. I would read this in the summertime. So this is the first book, Into the Woods by Jenny Holiday. The next one, and these are in no particular order. It's not the order that I read the books in. It's just the order that they're lined up beside me. The next book is Sophie Cousins' Is She Really Going Out With Him? This is a UK-based author, and it has very much British humor, which I very much enjoyed in it. It's about a mom who is recently divorced. She's 1 year post-divorce, and she is a journalist at a magazine, and she's fighting for a column with another journalist who's about 8 years younger than her. So in this, she has decided that she's going to start dating, but the catch of it is that her kids get to choose who her 7 dates are, and he's going to date on the internet. So it's her dating in real life versus him on the internet as a man about town, and their columns, and then them competing for the one final column at the end. It is incredibly cute. Somebody compared it to How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, in that like vein of how to date in 7 dates. It's very, very cute. Very, very clean. There's no spice in it whatsoever. So they do like all the scenes are fade to black or closed door scenes. There's nothing that would prevent someone who just doesn't like spice from reading this book. This book is very much no spice approved. So I loved that about it. I loved the kids in it. This actually did really show the kids. Like, the kids played a concerted effort in the book. They weren't just there and then gone and never mentioned again. They were in fact around the whole time. So this is a great book. If you're looking for a romance about a mom, if you're looking for a romance that features kids, if you're looking for a clean romance, all of that's great. I gave this 5 stars. I really do enjoy it and did love it. Seasonally, for I would say like spring, they spend a little bit of time outside and outdoors. They go to a book literary festival. So I would say like spring, beginning of summer is the perfect time to read this book. Though this one is not as heavily focused on the season as, say, Into the Woods is, since it's set at a summer camp. But I would say that this one is perfect for like that spring, summer time. So the next book is The Co-op by Tara DeWitt. I actually wanted to read Savor It by Tara DeWitt. I've been wanting to read that for a while, but the co-op was available at my local library and Savor It wasn't. And since I'd never read Terror DeWitt before, I wanted to give her a chance before I bought a book. But I will absolutely be buying Savoring It and reading it sometime this summer. This is about Layren and Deacon, and they are co-owners of a house, or I guess like a duplex is how you could think of it, in California. And both of their grandmothers left it to them when they passed away. And now they have to decide what to do with this house. This house has got a lot of trouble with it, and so they have to decide how they're going to fix it up. If they're going to fix it up, are they going to keep it? Are they going to sell it? Are they going to rent it out? What are they going to do? And one of the things is that Layren has a trust that they could use to help build the house or build back the house, as the house had several incidents occur to it that it needs a lot of renovations. But the only stipulation is, in order to get the trust, that she has to be married. So Deacon agrees to marry her. So this book is trope is marriage of convenience, and it is incredibly cute. They spend most of the book fighting, so it's very, if you like a banter, enemies to lovers who used to be friendly, it's second chance romance too. So if you like that, this is also would be perfect in the summertime. It takes place in California. They're on the beach. They talk a lot about the beach. They talk a lot about bonfires, that sort of thing. So this would be perfect for the late summer. I would say late summer, not earlier, like midsummer, but later summer. Um, and so as they fix up the property, they fall in love. So this is a very, very, very cute book by Tara DeWitt. It definitely is spicy, so it's on the spicier side of things. I would not say that the romance scenes are closed door in this. So that is the co-op, and I can't wait to read Savor It and tell you guys all about Savor It. The next one, not the next one that I read, but the next one I'm going to talk about is Under Lock and Key by Lana Ferguson. I have read this author before, and this is about a girl who never knew her father's family, and he dies. Her name is Kenya. They call her Key McKay, and she decides to go to Scotland to meet her grandparents after her father has passed away, because her mother is gone, her father's now gone, and she's going back to Scotland to meet her grandparents for the first time. And it is not a welcoming, they're not welcoming her on with open arms. They didn't welcome her dad when he left, and they're not welcoming her with open arms. At the same time, she meets a man by the name of Lachlan Greer, who owns the property next door to them, who has the McKays and the Greers have a long history of feuds for something that they discuss in the book. He's mad at her father before she left, or before he left. So there is a big history and mystery surrounding that. I will tell you that this is not so much enemies to lovers, because she doesn't really hate him. She just kind of thinks he's arrogant. He hates her. So it's more like dislike to lovers. I will also tell you that there is a monster element to this book. So there, I won't tell you. Let me see if it's in the. No, it is not. It is not in the synopsis as to what the monster is, but there is a monster romance element to this. So if monster romances aren't your thing, I say still give it a try. It's not very heavy in there. There's nothing that, everything is always in humanoid form. So it's never anything like that. But there is monster romance in it. It is also very spicy. I gave it a four stars. And they are just so cute. They're so cute. The town's so cute. Her grandparents are so cute. Um, the story kept me engaged the whole time. This is a wonderful book. It's called Under Lock and Key. The next one is The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren, and it is about Liam Weston, and his wife. And her name is Anna Green. I'm terrible with names, so there'll be a lot of times I have to look up the names. I literally just finished this on the 31st. I finished it last night, and still I had to think of names, or I have to look up names. So it's about Liam and Anna, and they get married in college so that they can afford family housing. It's just a marriage of convenience. Nothing happens. They don't start seeing each other. Fast forward to almost 5 years after they've stopped living together, after he's moved out and she thinks that they're divorced, and he comes knocking on the door, knock, 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 and guess what? They aren't divorced, and he needs her to come to a private island in Indonesia to impress his family at his sister's wedding. And chaos ensues, and this family is broken and messed up. That is one thing I will tell you, is if you have a trigger warning for families that are very dysfunctional, then this family may not be for you, as they are very, very dysfunctional. The father of the family does not treat any of his children well. So if you are no contact with your parents and that is something that is going to be triggering for you, then I recommend that you maybe think twice before you read this book, because he is not very nice. He doesn't treat his kids well. His kids have a lot of underlying issues due to how they're treated by their family. There's obstinate wealth in this, so you see a ton of wealth, and you see it from Anna's point of view as someone who has not been wealthy at all at any point in her life. And you see it as more of like a hindrance than a good thing, but it's super cute. It's their love story as they fall in love. All five of these books do have a happy ending. They all end happily, including this one. This one is perfect, perfect, perfect for summertime. They're in Indonesia, or right outside Indonesia on a private island, so it's hot and it's humid, and they talk about how gorgeous the island is and the flowers and the scents and the so this is perfect for the summertime, sitting on a beach, perfect beach read to just fly through. I flew through this book. Um, he is down bad first. So if that's a trope that you really like, that the guy falls first, then this book has that trope for you. He does fall first. This is spicy. So the scenes in this are not closed door. I would give it 2 chili peppers. That's probably what I'd give it. I would not say that it's extremely spicy, but it is not fade to black closed door scenes. So it is incredibly cute, and I gave it 4 stars. I don't know that I said what I gave everything, so let me look here. I gave this one 4.5 stars. I gave Into the Woods, I gave 4.5 stars. Is She Really Going Out with Him? I gave 5 stars. The co-op, I think I gave 3.5, but it leans to a 3.75, 4 stars. Under Lock and Key, I also gave 4-ish stars. And then Christina Lauren, The Paradise Problem, I gave 4 stars, 4.25 stars if we want to get real technical. So it was very cute. The final one is the mystery thriller of the month. I picked this up because Books and Lala, a booktuber online, is doing this as their March pick, and they're going to do a live show where they discuss it. And so I try to read the Literary Dead Book Clubs. That's the name of her book club, is the Literary Dead Book Club. I try to read the Literally Dead Book Club picks if they're not horror. She does do a horror mystery thriller mystery like book club, so sometimes they're horror. This one wasn't. This one is much more in like the mystery thriller category. Lots of people die in this. It is about a group of writers who go to a secluded island in Maine. This takes place in the fall, so if you read via seasons, like I've told you with each of these, if you read via the seasons, then this one you're going to want to read in the fall time. They talk about the colors and as things are changing, and they talk about the gross weather that I'm sure that Maine does have in that during that time. This is also a debut author, and I had no clue that it was a debut. I could not believe it was a debut when I found out when I read the very back of the book. But it is about this exclusive retreat with this author who is enigmatic. Nobody has seen him in 30 years. They don't know anything about him, and he invites these 7 people to this writing retreat. I believe it's 7 people to this writing retreat to come, and one by one, people begin to die until you try to figure out who's doing the killing. It also stars his assistant, Mila, and she has secrets of her own. Everyone has secrets and confessions that they need to confess. This, honestly, I read this a little too slowly. I like to read my thriller mysteries a little faster than I read this one. So I read this one a little too slowly to be really like captivated and like really get the fear factor from it. But I think that if you did read it, like sit down and read it in 1 to 2 sittings, it would be very fearful. But um, some of the twists and turns just didn't hit for me because I was reading it so slowly that I had forgotten about stuff as people were piecing it together. This is also one that I truly believe that if you're paying attention and you're really thinking, you could piece together who the murderer is. You could piece together who all those people are. There's a game of Clue in here involved, and they each get like a different name with a different thing about them, a different sin about them that they talk about in the synopsis. And you could piece that together. I was reading it so slowly and forgetting things that I didn't do a good job of piecing it together. But this is not one where out of nowhere you had to know this final piece of the puzzle that nobody knew, and then there's no way that you could have gotten it. So this is very much perfect. I can only give it a 4 star because of how slow I read it. And it maybe is closer to a 3.5 just because of how slow I read it. I do think that this has 5-star potential for someone who picked it up and read it more. But I was engaged. I really was, but I wasn't engaged enough to just compulsively keep reading it. Other things were taking my attention. I like to read multiple books at one time. I do it pretty frequently. I'm in the middle of a book right now. I'll start another book tonight. It's a different book. But other books just kept kind of keeping my attention. Like I read these two pretty close together, and this one was always kind of winning out to this one. So that's why I say 3.5, 4 stars is the best that I can give this one. But I never would have guessed it to be a debut novel. You Are Fatally Invited by Andy Plago. So the 6 books that I read this month were Into the Woods by Jenny Holiday, You Are Fatally Invited by Andy Plago, Sophie Cousins, Is She Really Going Out with Him? The Co-op, Lana Ferguson, Under Lock and Key, and The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. My favorite one, if I had to pick one of them, is obviously the 5-star, Is She Really Going Out with Him? I think this is so cute, and it's good for everybody. I could recommend this to anyone just looking for a romance that is a good time. So this is my recommendation for the month. But those are the 6 things that I read this month. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you've stuck around this whole time, drop the book emoji in the chat so that I know that you were here the whole time. And I can't wait to see you till my next video. Thank you. Bye.